Hi guys, welcome to Brand X Reviews. Good news for James Bond fans such as myself. There's been an official announcement within the last hour on the official Facebook page from the studio, basically saying that the next Bond film is going to be released on November the 8th, 2019. So that would basically give a 4-year gap between Spectre and the next Bond film. Now, as much as I'd love to see as many James Bond films out as possible, as soon as possible, I think 3 years between Bond films is about the minimum we want to leave it, to be honest. Because when they start bringing them out more frequently, you tend to get films like Quantum of Solace, which, although I liked it, wasn't as well received. And that can really put a dampener in terms of where to go forward. So given that this one's going to have a 4-year gap, it kind of sucks because obviously right now we're actually closer to the last Bond film that came out than we are closer to this film coming out, if that makes sense, because we've got at least another 2 years to wait. Well, 2 years and 3 months basically. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. Now, this opens up a whole other spectrum of questions in terms of, is Daniel Craig going to come back? Because at this rate, who knows? I mean, he's getting on quite a bit. From memory, he is, how old is he? Is he 48, 49 now? I think he's 48. So, by the time the film comes out, he'll be 50. And James Bond traditionally is in his mid-30s. I know it's rare that he's actually played by anybody in the mid-30s. It's been a long time, in fact, since that time. But still, Daniel Craig, when he started out, kind of passed for somebody in the mid-30s. But given that he's kind of getting on a bit now, I don't even know if that's relevant, to be honest, but basically he's going to be 50 by the time this comes out. So whether or not they can sell him as Bond anymore, I don't know. I personally really like Daniel Craig. I'd love to see him come back. I've spoke about this in a previous video. If he does come back, we don't want to see him reluctantly coming back, like just doing it for a paycheck, basically. Not that he needs it, but obviously if they offer him enough, he's going to come back, I would have thought, despite things that have been said before. So we will see anyway. I mean, it does say here the film's cast, director, and distributor will be announced at a later date. So, although I did say it was a studio that did that, that's actually not the case. It's a production company. Kind of editing my own video here while I'm recording it, but yeah, there's still a bit of uncertainty about which studio is distributing the Bond films from now on, because it's been Sony have been obviously involved with this. I personally think that they're just going to renew things, but my knowledge on that isn't quite up to date, so I won't really go any further with that. But yeah, the cast obviously is a major thing there. So given that it's quite a while away, I think it's quite early yet, to be honest, to really pin down who's going to be in it. Because if you remember when they recast last time, with Daniel Craig, it was about a year before the film's release. So in context, this film is another 2 years and 3 months away. So, I mean, it could be another year or so before we even know whether Daniel Craig's back or not. I mean, having said that, I think we ruled out that Pierce Brosnan was going to be back quite a long time before they cast Daniel Craig. But if it's going to be a new actor, I would say it'll be at least another year before they actually say who the new Bond is going to be. So, if you hear anything, it's probably bollocks. I mean, you tend to get, oh, this person's doing the next James Bond theme. These are all things that don't get announced until, like, months before, in some cases, before the film's release. So remember, this film, now we know, because of this news here, it's a long way off. So really, unless Daniel Craig says he's definitely coming back, there's not really much to be sort of pinned down in that context anyway. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll be following this. James Bond is the biggest thing that I'm into, although I don't really cover it that much because there hasn't been much to cover recently. But I will be doing as things develop. So check back Brand X Reviews. You can check us on Facebook, Instagram, and obviously YouTube. So if you got anything out of this video, follow us on one of those channels, and we will see you next time.